Welcome back to another edition of Talon Talk here with Aidan O'Gorman. He is headed to Austin, Texas next week, qualified for the national championship round in the 10,000. Aidan, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, Aidan, you've obviously North Florida men's cross country and track and fields had some great distance runners over the past decade, really, especially in the Division One era. Nathan Jubran, Nick Morgan, Finn Tim, Noah Perkins, guys like that, and then now yourself is, you've gotten yourself well into that group. What does it feel like looking back on your career so far, just knowing you've achieved that?
The goal was always nationals, and those guys really paved the way for me, like made me feel like it was possible to do that. And um so yeah, I feel like I've been working for that every year. It just takes a lot of patience because it's not overnight. It's the accumulation of a lot of miles and fitness and workouts, and so just lots of patience and knowing, like, that it can come at the right time. And yeah,
So you've
so
had success not just in this event, but indoor track, obviously setting records, and then cross country being one of the main guys the last few years for a really good cross country program too. How do you stay like dialed in all year long when it comes to competing all season long? It being unique as an athlete that does fall and winter and spring.
yeah, yeah. Psychology is a big part of the sport because you are under a lot of stress pretty often year round. Um, I feel like my faith helps me a lot with that, keeps me grounded. And then, um, you know, just making sure I have fun, like I don't know the exact quote, but just like the man who enjoys walking will go farther than the one who doesn't. So like, if I can enjoy the journey, enjoy every workout, every race, and just have fun and, hang out with the guys. And, that's what makes it easy for me, is just I enjoy every day. I enjoy everything that we do. So
Mhm.
yeah.
What are some of those things that you do physically that help you recover during seasons, that you've had the last couple of years, between cross country, and what are some of those tricks that you do, whether it's in the training room or whether it's with your diet or sleep?
Yeah, you kind of touched it all. Like, diet is huge. I think that was a big switch for me from cross country season to this whole indoor outdoor season. I just made sure I got the right amount of carbs, the right amount of protein every day. That was huge for my recovery. And I take hot baths pretty much every day. 20-minute hot baths. I'll take ice baths before big races. You know, I'm very like preventative with injuries. So most people get in the training room after they're already hurt. If I feel something, I'm just really in tune with my body. If I feel like a little something, I'll go to our trainer Claire. She's great, um and she'll help me out with that. But yeah, weight room, hydration, nutrition, um, and really just staying consistent is key. Like, you know, I didn't take a single day off this season, which I've never done. I think that actually helped. Just like, it's almost like taking a day off kind of throws your body off in a
Hmm.
way. So
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
What is that training regimen like for you during, let's say, outdoor season right now? If you're training for, 10,000, what's that like week to week training like? How far will you run? Like, what's the furthest distance you'll kind of go for something like that in training?
I mean, my highest weeks were 86 miles a week. Um, and you know, that's actually not the highest that I've done, but I was trying to focus more on quality every day instead of just like hitting a weekly mileage. So every day I was making sure I made every run count. So, um, but yeah, my longest run of the week was always like 15, which isn't anything crazy. Um, and I would try and make that a pretty good long run, like, pick it up during the whole run. Um, Nothing crazy, but yeah, and we would hit two really big, solid workouts every week. So
What
yeah,
do you have a preference on what you like to train for the most, whether it's a certain race or cross country season? Do you have a certain race you like to train for?
yeah. Um, I feel like I've always had recency bias,
Hmm.
and that might just be because I try to like put my head in it, like get excited for what I'm doing. So like right now, my favorite thing to do is train for a 10K,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that's because I'm training for a 10K, um, but we're kind of always evolving a little too. So I just enjoy what I'm doing currently, and it might be that I really love cross country training this fall, but right now, yeah, I like the 10K. I'm not much of a middle distance runner. Like when I do heavy lactic workouts, like
Hmm.
super fast 400s and stuff, that's a different kind of pain, and
Yeah.
I prefer the longer stuff for sure. So
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's a completely different game, running
yeah,
that type of distance. What's it like psychologically? Obviously at first rounds when you're competing against the best in the region and you're running around a track, you only have so much space to work with, and you know that, you have some of the best runners in the country and you got to go around a track 25 times. Like, how do you stay psychologically locked in for a race like that?
yeah. I mean, it's just I kind of said that night, but lots of prayer and just trusting, like I have the Bible verse, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me on my ribs right here. But um, just believing that anything's possible, and you know, just knowing I got to go out there and do it. I mean, it's as simple as that. Like, um, you know, I've had moments like that in my career where I'm like, all right, what do I got to do? All
Hmm.
right, let's go do it. And it's like, you know, sometimes keeping it that simple is key. Like, not really overthinking it.
Hmm.
Like, I knew I had a really good plan, and thankfully that plan worked out. And the plan was just put myself in position with 10 laps to go, no matter how bad I feel.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, with 10 laps to go, I didn't feel awesome, but I just made a move up to like 11th or 12th and just didn't let go. And, um, you know, that worked out. But, um, but yeah, staying psychologically, it's just, I think the biggest thing this season was trusting my training. You know, I knew I was ready, and I knew I had worked harder than probably most people on the line.
Yeah.
So that was big for me, is knowing like I deserve to be here. I deserve to run with some of the best guys in the country. So
Hmm. Yeah, part of it's just creating that self-belief based on what you've done in the past, and feeling it out, knowing it's the same as you've done in training. Is there a certain, like, in a 10,000, is there a certain point in the race where you sometimes can feel like, wow, I have extra today, or you can kind of gauge how you feel? Is there a difference between each time you run?
yeah, I would say I haven't run a 10K like that this season. Um, where I feel like I have anything left.
That's good. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think that has a lot to do with weather too.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't ran a single cool race this season.
Yeah.
And historically, when I run a colder race, I feel really good and probably could have ran harder, not realizing it because I'm not used to like the cold weather, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so I pretty much only ran 70-degree races this season. So the effort was pretty much all out every time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean
um,
it's tough being a distance runner in that regard in Florida. Well, in a sense, it gives you an advantage in terms of dealing with it, of course. I mean, that's why Boston Marathon and Chicago Marathon, I mean, they're all northern climates and you do
yeah,
feel that extra refresh. And Austin, Texas is another warm climate, and that kind of goes into one of my other questions. There's a reason that's scheduled late at night. You're not getting a 1 o'clock start time. What's that day like? Like, what's that type of preparation like for a night race like that, being so late in the day? How do you pace out when you eat and such like things like that?
yeah. I mean, I'm an engineering major, so I'm really big on like planning and everything. So yeah, I plan my whole day out. I'll sleep in pretty good because, like you said, we race at like 9,
Hmm.
so I want to make sure I'm like really awake, not like ready to go to sleep. Um,
Yeah.
so I'll sleep in pretty good, and I'll have like my last big meal at like 5, and I'll do some hyperhydration, which is basically like consuming a lot of electrolytes before the race, like more than you would think is healthy. And um, so yeah, I'll just get really ready um, and yeah, I don't do anything crazy before my race. Again, just I think because my faith, I just like I don't get that nervous, thankfully. So I'll just like listen to some music and get my legs ready and then go warm up and then go
Hmm.
race. I don't have any really rituals or anything. So
Hmm. Would you say it's different at all from when you started as a freshman? Is there like a noted like game or meet day training difference from freshman Aidan to where you are now?
absolutely. Yeah, I've learned a lot over the years. I wish I knew what I know now
Yeah.
10 years ago. That would have,
Yeah.
who knows where I'd be, but that's just part of the journey. But yeah, I would say I get a lot less nervous. I'm much more like excited. I just have a lot more fun with it now, I think, which is important. And
Hmm.
and I also do muscle activation, which I didn't used to do. A lot more nitty gritty stuff is that like the best do
Hmm.
before every run. So just trying to implement stuff like that. So not a lot has changed, but little things for sure
Hmm.
that go a long way. But
Yeah. Yeah. You pick up on what you need and then you leave the stuff that you don't. And I'm sure there's a lot of nuanced um, things as well. In terms of running, obviously certain sports, it's like, volleyball, for example, you're playing a team and you know how they play, so you're going to scout them. Is there anything like that for distance running? Is there any like scouting that you can do?
yeah, I definitely look at the field more than I think my coach or my teammates think I should. But they're more worried that I'm like overthinking it and like getting like psyched out. But that doesn't happen. Like I'm just I love planning. So it's like it makes me feel more ready on the line knowing what I'm getting myself into.
Hmm.
And I feel like that's the key with a distance race is just knowing what you're about to get into, knowing how much pain you're about to be in, knowing roughly what pace you're probably going to be running because of the people that are in the race. And, I think that's the biggest thing that I've grown in is like I do a lot of like mental um preparation. So I'll do like visualization. And, I feel like my visualizations have been pretty spot on all season
Hmm.
with like how the race actually went. And I think that's part of like my research beforehand. I get all this research and then I visualize how I think the race is going to go. And then it's like I already did the race in my head. Now I just got to go do it. And um so so yeah, that's big for me is knowing what I'm about to get into, knowing how painful it's about to be and and then you just go do it. But
Hmm.
yeah.
What is there to how much of the race will you visualize then as a runner? If you're running for 28, 29, 30 minutes, how much can you visualize and what's that like?
The whole thing. It's brutal. And I want it to be brutal because I want it to be like I said, I want to know exactly how it's gonna feel. And like I let myself be nervous and all that and feel everything when I'm visualizing
Hmm.
because I wanna get all that out of my system now. So so yeah, I'll sit there. I have music playing, like hype music, and I'll just visualize for 30 minutes if I'm visualizing a 10K. Um, Definitely enjoy visualization more when I'm getting ready for a mile or something
Yeah.
because it's only 4 minutes.
Yeah. 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 So
But
that you can blitz through it.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a very,
yeah,
not a lot of people have a patience for that. So, that's difficult. And that's part of running too, right? Is being able to be patient, not get distracted during a long race. I mean, that's one of the probably the biggest
yeah,
impediments to people being good at it is just being willing to have the time commitment as well. And I'm sure that's been an adjustment and something you have to tell people throughout college is how much time you have to commit to just being conditioning,
yeah.
in your conditioning. Um, yeah, as far as heading out to Austin, what's the timeline for you guys? Like, when are you leaving? And, will you, scout out the track and what will you do when you get there?
Yeah, we're leaving Monday and we get back Saturday. So we'll be there the whole nationals, which is nice.
Nice.
But yeah, we'll check it out. Um we don't we don't I mean for track a track's a track. Like we'll check
Yeah.
it out and kind of just like put yourself in it. But but yeah, we won't hang out there much. So yeah, there's not much scouting that has to happen in track. It's cross country, we like jog the course and stuff,
Right.
um but yeah. Yeah.
So obviously you're going on day one. When you stay, is there what other events do you like to watch in track and field? Do you have favorites that you like to watch?
Yeah. I mean it's a special time in NCAA right now with like just all the talent. I mean, I'm excited to even race the guys that I'm racing because
Hmm.
these are guys that I've looked up to. Um, so that's kind of crazy, but a lot of those guys will also be in the 5K. So it'll be fun to watch that Friday. And Coach Pig wanted us there the whole week because he wanted me to watch the 5K because he wants me in the 10K and the 5K next year.
Yeah.
so, um, so Yeah, so yeah, I'll watch the 5K. That'll be cool. Probably see some cool, maybe the Parker Valby Caitlin
Hmm.
Tui duel also.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm a fan of track. I love basically every event because I know the amount of work that goes in to just getting there.
Hmm.
Um, and being, you know, and running as fast as those guys run. Like I'm not there yet, but I know that they're working so hard to, break national records and stuff. Like it's nothing but hard work. So yeah, I love watching pretty much every event, but 1500 is a really fun one to watch. So I'll try to watch that as well. But
Yeah, you get to see some speed, and kind of that middle, um, challenge as well. And it's crazy. You can't hide in track. I mean, even if you are in a relay team, and there's three other people, you can't hide. You're out there by yourself. So, you
yeah,
you have to be dialed in. You can't have any, weaknesses that at least are too pronounced. So it's always a lot of respect for the amount of shape, like the level of shape that the athletes are in. So
yeah,
certainly enjoy it, and hopefully you can soak it in a little bit when you get there. So but I appreciate you jumping on. Anything else you want to leave with,
yeah.
Aidan?
Uh, I mean, all glory to God, and thank you so much for having me. And go Ospreys, I guess.
Yeah, good luck, Aidan. You're close out the NCAA 2022-23 season for the Ospreys as well. So we'll definitely be rooting for you to close it out on a high note.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Aidan.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.